My name's Trish and I'm originally from South Africa. I've been living in New Zealand since January 2011, although I did have the pleasure of visiting the country in 2009 and in 2010. I did an extensive trip around the world in 2009, during the course of which I was in New Zealand for 2.5 months. And then, furthering my tours, I met a Kiwi when I was in Canada and fell in love and all the rest. And then in 2010 I came over to visit and went home, packed up, and in January 2011 I emigrated to New Zealand to be with this gentleman. The earthquake in Christchurch happened in February 2011, and that caused quite a disruption to my introduction to New Zealand. It was a very difficult time for many people, and to cut a long story short, the relationship didn't work out, and in January this year I moved up to Tauranga from Christchurch. When I first arrived in New Zealand, in Christchurch, the changes were immense. Although I am English speaking and New Zealand is an English speaking country, I thought it would be quite easy, but South African English and Kiwi English are different, and there are different cultures, different ways of doing things. Because I had come here to be with a man, I made that my life. I didn't meet and mix with any other South African people, and I felt very isolated. I felt very dependent because, having been a single mom for 20 years and owned my own home, I had now left all of that behind. I'd left my children behind, and I felt very lost, very lonely, very left out, isolated. Nobody understood me, definitely a square peg in a round hole. I just didn't fit in anyway. Trying to find employment was dreadfully difficult as well because I didn't have a residency at that stage. During the time of the earthquake, my passport was actually in immigration at the time, so I couldn't even escape if I wanted to. It was very difficult. Not only because of the effect the Christchurch earthquakes had on the city and the people of the city, it was very difficult for me to be in a situation where I was dependent on somebody else, whereas I had been so independent for so long. And the people I met at work were not very kind. I had a bad experience at the workplace, and it was a very, very difficult and lonely time. Mainly because I didn't have the support from people who had been through what I was going through and people who understood me. I did make some very good friends, and I treasure them to this day, but they also didn't quite understand what I was going through, so it was a very, very trying time. When I moved up to Tauranga, a friend of mine told me about the Newcomers Network, which he had found in Napier to be extremely helpful to him settling. And he told me about that, and I came to Tauranga and looked them up straight away. And through the Newcomers Network, I got in touch with the Multicultural Society, and I made every effort I could to join in and to get to know people and to network. And I realized that when you move to a new place that you don't know anybody and you need to find work, it's not a matter of what you know, it's who you know. And I didn't know anybody at that stage other than the friend with whom I'm living and one other person, and I knew that I needed to do all I could to get out there, and this is my home now. I need to settle in, I need to meet people, and I need to get on with it. The fact that I chose to come to Tauranga, for me, put me in a better state of mind than I was when I went to Christchurch, because I didn't actually choose Christchurch. I landed up in Christchurch because that was where he lived. And I just psychologically, by choosing to move from Christchurch to Tauranga, I was already in a better place. Having met up with the friendly, helpful, wonderful people at the Multicultural Society, They put me in touch with another network group called the Women's International Network Group, and it was only 2 weeks after I got here that I went to one of their get-togethers. I met a lady who then introduced me to another lady who then introduced me to the lady from whom I found some employment. So I actually owe my entire existence at the moment to having gone out and got in touch with the Newcomers Network and the Multicultural Society and the Women's International Networking Group. They've also put me in touch with the Bay of Plenty Volunteer Society, and I am on their board of trustees and giving back a little to the community that has helped me so well so far. In fact, I was chatting to a friend, a lady yesterday who has recently moved down from Auckland to Tauranga. I had a call from one of my South African friends in Christchurch to say that she has a friend who used to live next door to her in Auckland, and she's moved to Tauranga, and please can I help her? So the first thing I did was told her about the Multicultural Society and the Volunteer Society, and I'm hoping that she will make use of them, well, not make use of them, but enjoy the benefits of their companionship as much as I did. Finding work in Tauranga is very difficult. The cost of living is high, cost of accommodation is extremely high, and although it's a beautiful place to live, one still needs to eat, and in order to find a job, you need to get to know people. And through the Multicultural Society, I think it's the best way to get to know people. It worked for me, it can work for anybody else. So yes, I'm quite happy to tell anybody about the Multicultural Society.
Hello, my name is Jongil Park. I'm from Korea. I've been here 1 plus 5 years because the first time I came here 6 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago. That time I came here to educate my daughters. And then I went back to Korea, and then I decided to immigrate to New Zealand, and then I came back 5 years ago. So I've been here 6 years. And I was a businessman in Korea, a kind of IT business. Because I ran an internet cafe business in Korea for 10 years. I already married with my wife, and I have 3 daughters, 15 and 13 and 7. I'm very happy because I have 3 daughters. At the moment, they are very happy in New Zealand. When my family came to New Zealand next time we were looking for getting a long-term business visa, and we decided to start run a business here. When I came to New Zealand, the first time I thought it is very relaxed, and nature is very beautiful, and lifestyle is very, I think is better than Korea. And at that time I thought people in New Zealand is very kind, especially the old people, and there were so many volunteers, I think, in Tauranga. So that's why I need to stay here in Tauranga, and we started new business in here 4 years ago. At first time, it was very hard to learn the business because me and my wife can't speak English fluently, and so at that time we need to go to study English, free ESOL English course. We need to go there, and I realized that time just travel in New Zealand and live in New Zealand is very different, because my customers they are New Zealanders and working holidays and travelers. I could understand at the time the working holidays people and travelers, but Kiwi people I couldn't understand them, because they were usually the old people can understand the foreigners, but my business there were lots of young guys came to play games, and I think the young New Zealanders can't understand the foreigners. They don't have the understanding of the foreigners. So that was the very difficulties at that time. At first time when we start business, there were a little bit some people annoying us because they can't understand us, me and my wife. Sometimes we can't understand what they want, so I think they think we have some problem because we can't speak English. So that time we are very sad and upset, and some customers complained about our internet system. Like we have a internet system for our internet cafe, but that is Korean, so they can't understand about that. But that is not important when they use internet or gaming. But some people, after using their computer 2 hours, and then they complained about the Korean language, and then they didn't want to pay about that. So wow, at that time we can't understand, and very upset. But we didn't know about how can we complain or something. So how can we do, like call the police or yes, we don't know about this, so just let them go. Yeah, when I came to New Zealand at first time, I came to Tauranga directly, and at that time my Korean friend introduced me about Multicultural Tauranga for English lessons, ESOL program. At that time I met Mark, Thursday ESOL program. That was very helpful for me, because I could meet the multicultural friend, and I think Mark is my Kiwi friend. So yeah, I could make a Kiwi friend, and Wednesday we have the meeting. I'm not sure the kind of meeting that about just chatting. So I met kind of 3 or 4 Kiwi friends, and I learned or I know they teach me about Tauranga and the New Zealand life or system. So I think that was very good for me. At the moment, I'm very happy and very relaxed, but sometimes I think here is not my hometown like this. So sometimes I miss my Korean hometown and my family's siblings like that. At the moment, I'm more comfortable in New Zealand, but I don't fit here perfectly yet.
So my name is Maria Burns, and originally I came from the Philippines. I have migrated here year 1996, so that was roughly 18-19 years back. I moved to New Zealand because I thought it's a lovely country to live in, less population, less pollution, I suppose. I actually came here on my own because I'm actually I was teaching before back in the Philippines, and I thought I really wanted to further my studies, and I thought New Zealand would be a very lovely place to live in. So before coming to New Zealand, I am actually working as a pharmacist back home. I was actually teaching in the University of Santo Tomas, and I was teaching there for 7 years before I moved to New Zealand. I'm also was involved in natural products research, and I'm doing a little bit of studies there too. So right now I have got my own business, and I'm a naturopath now and a medical herbalist, so I see clients apart from selling nutritional supplements. I got married after 8 years, and so I thought I would just probably stay here. And then my husband and I decided to have a little health shop to play around. That was nice. When I moved to New Zealand, the first 2 years was hard, especially living on your own. You really have to, especially in finding a job, you really have to make sure that you find the right job for you. I have got one experience before my first year here in New Zealand. I think people are laughing at the way I talk, probably because of my accent. But I thought that's the way I was brought up. You can't really get rid of the accent. But hey, the New Zealanders got accent too. So we just have to actually live with it, isn't it? But I tried copying the New Zealand accent, but my husband is just laughing at me. He said that I need to keep my accent because he find it really nice. So yeah, another thing too is I find the older people a bit friendly here in New Zealand, and I get along well with them, but not the younger ones. The younger ones are okay, but some are actually a little bit, they find us a little, I don't know, this is just one of our experience actually. We were actually, a group of us are walking along the street, and there's this car with a lot of teenagers and just shouting at us. I feel a little bit scared at that time. But hey, it's only one-off anyway. The rest of the Kiwis are lovely people. They are really lovely people. Yeah, I'm still the same person. But I thought there's a difference between the Philippines and living here in New Zealand. First, is actually there are a lot of different things here, I suppose. Like, for example, the food is different, the way of life is different. In the Philippines, there's a fast pace of life because you go, you work, and then you study, and then you work again, and then sometimes during the weekends there's not enough time, so you really have to plan your days, for the following week again. In New Zealand, it's okay. I think I like the lifestyle here because you work Monday to Friday, and then Saturday, if you don't have a second job, you probably have to relax. They're a bit more laid back. Probably depends on what you do. But if you have only got one job, and Saturdays you just use, or the weekends you just use that as a family time, which is in a way nice, I suppose. Food is different. Of course, you're not living in a tropical place now, so you eat the Kiwi way. But I still like my rice. I won't go for bread. My husband eats bread and potatoes, but not me. I still stick on rice. I was glad that I've joined Multicultural Tauranga because of the help that they've given to the new migrants, especially all the newcomers coming to the Bay of Plenty. And there's a very good camaraderie, in the group. All the multicultural people are actually joining the multicultural group, like a sort of a salad bowl, So you got all the different fruits there combined in one bowl, So that's who we are. That's Multicultural Tauranga. So all these different ethnic communities join into one, and to actually show Kiwis who we are. And that's nice, one way of actually for them to know us and for us to know them better.